Shoulds. Shoulds. The shoulds. I should do this. You should do that. I should be doing it. What shoulds are keeping you stuck in your business? The amount of shit that I used to feel like I should be doing, or, success should be this way. Like I built a fucking marketing agency and a 9 to 5 that I hated because I thought that's how you should build a business, or that's how it should be done. Could have saved me 3 years of a lot of heartache and burnout, but that is my story, and that is what I had to live, and that is what I had to get all the way to the bottom of and hit rock bottom to realize that I don't want that. I remember I was crying on the bus on the way home. We were wearing masks. Luckily, it was still during COVID. Tears building up in the sweet lady next to me gave me a tissue, and I was exhausted. I was on the commuter bus back home from another 12-hour day in the office. Phone giving me mild panic attacks every time it buzzes, being, available at clients every beck and call because we'd set shitty boundaries in the business. My mind constantly buzzing on lists of things I'd missed. I felt like I was constantly playing catch up. And this was my company. I'd built it with a friend of mine. And I hadn't realized how so many people get stuck in this thing. And I know there are so many people out there that are pretending or putting on a smile saying everything's going well, when behind the scenes they are running around like a fucking headless chicken, just praying that this is going to stop, that next year things are going to get better, or that the next client is going to finally solve all their problems, or and it's like, you can't breathe. You can't breathe. And I lost it. I burst into, is this it? Like, is this what success is? Like, you just have to deal with being like a nervous fucking wreck the whole time? I knew that's not what I wanted. But I also knew it wasn't true. I knew we'd done it wrong. And I also knew at that point I didn't know how to work with my business partner in a way to make it amicable for the both of us. Our values were too different. What he wanted with being in the office all the time, clocking in, clocking out, never what I wanted. Never what I wanted. The micromanaging of employees, no. I was prepared to build an agency a lot more fractional, a lot more separated, a lot more online, a lot more mobile. And I didn't know how to verbalize a lot of that. So we went along with his thing, and I was like, well, at least, we're building something. And when it got to that point, and I was like, I broke, I snapped. And when I found out I needed to have my spine surgery, I used that as a way to step back from the business and to get out. I told my business partner at that point I needed to go back to freelance. I needed to work for myself. I was ready. I was thinking at that time I was going to go back into the health and fitness industry, which didn't end up happening. Again, it's not my path. I'm made for something else. But the building on shoulds is a one-way ticket to burnout, to failure, to heartbreak, to misery. Like, there's no world where it ends well. There's only a world where you somehow manage to shoulder the stress and carry on. What kind of life is that? Like, if that's something that you want and you're made for it and it brings you joy, have at it. But fuck me, was I not going to be staying there. I have changed my life so many times that I know Like, it's written all over my face when I'm somewhere that I don't want to be and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. And when it got to that point in my own fucking business, I was like, well, what is this for? Like, if I'm supposed to be this business owner doing something that I really enjoy doing, helping creatives, helping people market their businesses and do, why am I so fucking miserable? And why do I want to quit? Like, that's not sustainable. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons I had to learn when coming off and even working with my clients. There are no shoulds. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you should be posting on any certain particular platform or any certain type of content if it doesn't make sense for you and your business, or if it doesn't make sense for the way that you create or enjoy creating. There are enough platforms out there. You enjoy doing video? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You enjoy writing? You don't want to be the face of it? Substack, Twitter, LinkedIn, write. You want to be, doing a bit of both. You got this, you got that. If your audience is on Facebook and you know how to use that platform, go do it there. Like, work with what you've got, work with what you know. Maybe you need to learn a couple of little things, great. But if the baseline of what you're doing on a consistent basis is sucking the life out of you, eventually you will stop. So if this fundamental part of your business isn't bringing you the momentum and the sustainability to actually enjoy what you're doing and grow what you're doing, what is the point? Like, it becomes a job for the sake of a job. Like, no, I'm not going to tell you you need to be on 5 different platforms if I don't think you need to be. No, I'm not going to tell you you need to post 3 times a day for the next 6 months if that makes no sense. Like, what makes sense to you? I did put together, I'm not the only person that's called it that. I named it a lean creator, the lean creator. I'm pretty sure somebody has a course called that. Probably have to Google it. But it's that thinking of, training or being lean, like a lean team, the lean startup. What is the minimum? What do you need minimum? You need a distribution channel, you need an offer, and you need a newsletter. Those are the 3 things you need. 1 social media platform, 1 main offer, which you can then be moving things around and expand off of, and a newsletter, somewhere where you're capturing emails and you can talk to your clients. That's it, lean. Start lean. Once you've got those systems in place, once you've found a bit more of your voice and once you've found the excitement within it and built some of the momentum, it's a lot easier to then start to spread stuff out or to then boost distribution. But you don't need so many things if it's not helping build you in the business, if it's not actually an enjoyable process. I've had clients come to me with, hundreds of thousands of followers ready to walk away from it all just for the sheer fact that they are kicking themselves, chasing algorithms and not seeing the back end pick it up. And it's like, well, what game are we playing now? When you allow these platforms or you allow things outside of yourself to dictate where your business is going and how you should be building it, some point along the way, if you're not checking in with yourself, you're going to end up with something that you don't want to be built into. And then you're going to wonder why there's so much friction. And it's because you haven't peaked up above water long enough to kind of take a step back and look from the shore and just go, okay, are we swimming in the direction that makes sense for me too? It's like, yes, take client, opinions and things into heart and what they want and how you can best serve them. But at the end of the day, you don't have to cater to the whim of everybody that you're working with. At the end of the day, you have to be able to enjoy what it is that you're doing. And some people stay in business for long enough that then they don't even realize that they've just up-leveled the type of clients that they want to work with. You do get to a point, like there are phases. And this is what I really enjoy about sort of future planning, but also not too much future planning with my clients, is that we always give enough space to pivot. We also always make sure that there's enough space to grow into and to phase out of different phases and into new ones. Depending on where you are in your business, maybe you've dealt with a lot of beginners before. If you've been dealing with a lot of beginners for many years, maybe you no longer want to be teaching the beginners. Maybe now you want to be making sure that you're teaching advanced people. The ones that are able to have that deeper level conversation, the ones that are able to get a bit more of nuance information from you and to then apply it in a different way, the ones that have a few more complex scenarios that are coming at you, the ones where you've got to troubleshoot a bit more and allow your brain to kind of expand as well and grow as you're tackling new client problems and solving what it is that you can. You know, sometimes we get caught up in the bit and it's like, great, foundations, fundamentals work, but also they're only going to work for so long if you no longer enjoy it. And if you haven't been able to find a way to turn that into some sort of passive, ongoing, remote thing, or train new staff to take on the beginners, that's also an option. You also need to be willing to walk away from it and move into a new phase and then enjoy the idea of collecting new clients. Also, some of your beginners might now need that next phase. And the reason why they're not staying with you is because you don't have anywhere for them to go once they've come out of one certain container and moved to the next. I always want to be growing with my clients. Like, I know I'm always growing and I'm always learning. I also know that I don't want to be the bottleneck of my clients. Like, if it gets to a point where we're doing our work and I turn around and find somebody that, you know, suits them more as a coach or something that they should go and do as a side quest or whatever, like, if I no longer feel like I can help them or they're not learning and they're not growing being in my space, I don't need you in my space. And I think a lot of coaches and a lot of people are not very secure in their own work and their own self-worth, that there's this like grabbing and trying to keep and trying to, like, I don't need people in my world that don't want to be there. I don't need people who are not participating and enjoying and, you know, becoming everything that they can be within what it is that we're doing. Like, if you're not, if these aren't the resources that you need, if these aren't giving you the insights and the tweaks and the values that you're looking for, go find someone else. Go find someone else. I don't mind. Like, go find your person, but go find them. Go find them. And what I like as well is, because I've worked with so many different industries, I do feel, at least at some sort of base level, I can help a wide variety of people. No matter where you are, no matter what you're at, there's a little bit of troubleshooting that we can do. So that's why I've initially opened my BaseCamp group coaching container as a 6-month. Eventually, towards the end of this year, I'm going to turn it into an annual container. Once I've had this year to troubleshoot a few things with my clients and to really fill the group and get a feel for how I enjoy teaching and how I enjoy providing these tools and informations to my clients and my students, like, it's going to be so exciting. So if you are looking for a space and you don't know where you fit and you want to be in a team of people that are building and growing and learning, and you've got to sort out your offers and your marketing and your copy, and you've got to get a little bit creative, come join us at BaseCamp. I'll put the links and details below. If you have any questions, send me a DM on Instagram, jump into my inbox, let's have a chat. But bringing it back a little bit, I do this, I lose my thread. Fuck. I got too excited. Shoulds. Again, so many shiny objects out there. So many people telling you you should be doing it this way, you should be doing it that way, you should be doing it. It's not. Like, let's connect. What makes sense for you? Tweak your messaging, tweak your offers, get some wins, get yourself under, like, and then start building from there. Like, your capacity to grow will be exponential when you can get these fundamental things solid, and when you can get your little cycle of ongoing marketing, business, you know, and juggling all of it at the same time. Once it feels a lot more effortless and we've found the systems that work for you and the ways that you can create that don't feel like you're having to sit down and turn this into a job that it's not. Once we shift your mind into just finding the little stories and the elements of the pieces that speak directly to your client and just call out who it is you're looking for and cut through all that noise, like that is the bit that takes a little bit of time. That's why my container is 6 months, and that's why eventually it will be a year. I want to be in the lives of my clients for a year to see the changes. What you can do in a year is so much greater than chasing these little, like, 30-day sprints or one-off things here or one-off things there. Like, don't get me wrong, I love having my one-off one-to-one sessions. I love meeting new people. I love having all these little insights into their lives. But what kills me is when we get excited, I hear their excitement on the phone, I see the little light bulbs come on in terms of the fact that they realize that they've been neglecting their own thoughts and their own heart, and they know that they need to connect to it, but having the conversation, getting excited about it, and then actually implementing it are two completely different things. Life is going to life. It's so easy to fall back into routines. It's so easy to just realign with the status quo when you're not constantly reminding yourself of the direction that it is you're going in. Life has a very funny way of figuring out whether this is what you want. This is why there's friction. This is why you've got to push through it. This is why at the beginning there sometimes feels like there's a bit more of a, pushback. It's like, because it's just testing. It's like, do you want this enough? Do you want this enough to commit your whole ass to it and to really put your heart into it and to really put yourself out there and to really dig in and decide, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm building. And this is why I work with my clients as well, to make sure that we have some sort of anchor. Like, so much can change on the surface. We can pivot, we can go this way, we can go that way. We stay maneuverable, but we have an anchor. We have systems, we have things that are going out no matter what, so that we know from the start to the end of a 6-month period of time, we are never going to be stuck in the same place. It's not possible. It's not possible when you're constantly checking in and you're constantly monitoring what you're doing and constantly tweaking and constantly adjusting and constantly being aware of where you're going and finding these ideas and looking for the answers that you're looking for in real life as well, and finding the opportunities that are suddenly coming out of the woodwork. And it's like, it does take time, not a lot of time, and things can change very quickly. And depending on how quickly you're able to shift through your own mental blocks and mental hurdles will depend how quickly you can quantum leap through these levels. I love how I did that again. Human design, gene keys, astrology, Reiki, alternative healing, energetics. I've lived this my whole life. Essential oils, everything. Like, we'll go deep into all of that, and you guys will get to, know me more over the years that I'm building this channel. I'm actually very, very excited that this commitment has changed for me. And it really is. It's a commitment to yourself and to the work that you're doing, that no matter what happens or where you're swaying, this is what you're building. You're going, this is your mission, this is who you serve, this is what you're doing, come join me. And you're pulling in those clients that are ready to take that action step, that are the ones that have been sat on the edge of their seat, that see something from you and go, that's my person, that's them, that's who I've been waiting for, that's it, And you don't know who needs you. Who needs that message from you? Who needs your insights, your perspective, your help, your service, your whatever it is you're creating? People need that. They're waiting. They're waiting to find it, and they're waiting to find it from you. And the longer that you plan, and I say more this for women especially. I mean, men, they have their own struggles too, but we're very good with ladies at really talking ourselves into having to be a certain way before we start. We're almost having to over-prepare, over-correct, over-articulate everything. And it's not how the world works. It's not how it happens. And the second you open your mouth, shit changes. Like, I love this conversation. I don't know if you've heard Chris Williamson and Naval's conversation that they released recently on YouTube. Like, when you end up going into this world and starting to put your opinions and your beliefs online, also being aware that over time they're going to shift and change, it's hard not to feel like you're going to get called up on the things that you've said before. And as to why I know I spent a lot of times working in the background, feeling like I was trying to build these courses or create these end-to-end templates for people and for clients that I wanted to help them transform their lives. And as I was creating the content myself, the environment was changing on the outside. So it's almost like the goalpost kept changing, or the information kept changing, or the how-to. I was digging too much into the how-tos of like social media content, and then by the time I'm about to release it, the algorithms have changed, and the information that I've put in there is no longer void. Like, it's null and void. That doesn't help anymore. So you've got to take that out, and this is where I enjoy the ongoing coaching sessions, because I'm constantly learning. the environment's constantly shifting, and we are all constantly having to tweak and adjust. And so there's nothing that's really set in stone. There are principles, there are frameworks, there are things that we can work with and test that don't really change. But in terms of the things and the hows and the details and the nitty-gritty stuff, like that really does take a nuanced level approach of problem solving and critical thinking that only comes from being able to hash it out with somebody, put things on the table. This is what we've got. This is what's happening. This new input came in last month. This fucking person got fired, or this person decided to sue us. Like, you don't, like, we can't foresee all the problems that are going to come into our business or how we're going to deal with them. But being able to have a coach, a mentor, a group, an environment somewhere where you can fall back on and turn to when shit hits the fan, or hell, when things are going good, just to celebrate. Like, you know, your audience is not going to celebrate you for the actions that you do behind the scenes. And it is something that, in order to keep going, there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes work that happens before you get the love and affection from your audience. And again, it's something that I really feel like you need to try and detach from. As much as, you know, I think we're all human. Of course we're going to love getting the likes and the views and the follows and the people and the this and the that and the, you know, warm fuzzies. But it's that slippery slope of just getting a bit too excited about the fame and feeding the ego side that kind of needs to just be nipped in the bud a little bit. And there is nothing better than having a group where you can do something really well and have a laugh, and then also do something really shit and have a laugh, and just, you know, also be somewhere where people can gut check you too and keep you in check, where it's like, it's very easy to get a little bit entitled with some of our results when we're on one of those up trajectories. I was having this chat with my boyfriend before. He's a personal trainer, and it's like, it's all well and good in the first, you know, 6 to 8 weeks when you're training and the weight's dropping off like flies, you're doing everything else, and you're doing, or hell, I think he even said the first 2-3 weeks. But it's like, you show me what you're like at week 4, week 6, week 8, week 16, you know, show me what you're like 6 months in, a year in. Like, where's the discipline? Where's the consistency? Where's the motivation? Where's the mind at? You know, like, where's the excitement when suddenly the scales aren't dropping? You know, like when it comes to weight journeys, you're only going to start dropping a certain amount and then it's going to start plateauing. That also doesn't mean that you're not doing anything, or that your body's, you know, stopped. People stop. People stop too soon. People build on shoulds. I just think it's so much more, like, we can just make it so much more fun than it's been made before. And I think that's what I'm excited about to build in my groups and my teachings and my things moving forward, is that off with the shoulds, in with the how do I build crazy things and crazy new stories and catapult myself into that next level of life. What does that look like? Like, let's build something crazy. Let's build something insane. Let's reset up your entire community online. Let's come up with a new offer. Let's pivot your current clients. Like, what is the plan? You know, like, where have people got so stuck in this rote thing as well? Like, if you're feeling a bit stagnant in business, when was the last time you did something that made you think, like, holy shit, I fucking did that. I did it. Like, how can we bring that energy back into life? And I think, for me, I always knew that's what I wanted my business to feel like. And it felt like that in the very early stages of running my agency. And then I very quickly allowed the outside world, again, business partner, everybody else's shoulds, to kind of layer this massive cement fucking case around me, and it just suffocated all my creativity. It just did. And I think when you're having fun, you can become more creative. You can get into that more childlike mindset and play with it a little bit and stop taking yourself so seriously. Why so serious? think I heard somewhere that it was from a Tim Ferriss book. And now I've read most of his books. Oh, picking my forehead. But it was the question that I started asking my clients last year when we were problem solving as well, and finding systems and finding ways to build that was more in alignment. And you can try this one. Try it this week. If you're thinking of a new offer, or things are feeling a bit stagnant, or it's just everything's feeling forced, like, what would this look like if it were easy? What would it look like? What would it look like if it were easy? And let your mind play with that. You don't have to come up with an answer straight away. Just allow your mind to figure that out. Because sometimes when we present problems to our brains as well, we're hardwired to start to solve them. So now we've got to present the problem of how do we build in fun, playfulness, enjoyment, love, rest, time off, excitement, without it being faked and forced. And it's when we can find, I've stopped liking the word balance anymore, because I don't think balance exists. I think we now stuck in this period of finding balance and forcing time on, time off, when very much so I'm realizing it's also about, yes, creating structure, but once you're more in the flow, you're able to actually build your days around where it is you're feeling called to, and where your energy is feeling called to put it on that day, as opposed to what's just on the calendar. And I think that's also where I've enjoyed working on a longer term basis with my clients. I mean, hell, one of my clients have been with me for 5 years now. Well, a couple are ticking over 2 years. Andrea, who's joined the BaseCamp, we're almost at a year now, and she's now signed on for another 6 months. Like, it really is taking the time to be in each other's lives, and figure out what it is they want, what it is they're aiming for, and reminding them who the fuck they are too. Like, when it's your business and it's your choice, you get to make the choices. And yeah, it just helps when you've got more badass people to brainstorm with, that aren't sitting there going, no, that's a bad idea. They're sitting there going, holy shit, how can we make that 10 times more crazy? And how do we bring that into fruition? Like, do it. Like, you tell me an idea and I want to like add steroids to it, times it by 12, and turn around and go, okay, well, what does version 1 look like before we get off this call, so that we can at least start? Like, what does that look like? Now go. Now go and build and fly. Like, it just, the whole thing can take off. But you've got to put yourself in these rooms and be surrounded by these people that just see a different way of living. No more shoulds. Please promise me that. Like I said, if you are looking for a space to meet some pretty awesome people and build, and be pushed to build, be challenged to build, come join us. Come join us at BaseCamp. It's going to be so much fun. It's me and Andrea in there in the moment. Hopefully by the time I post this video, there may be a couple more people in. Like I said, it's very interesting who comes out of the woodwork when you align with your messaging as well. It's only been recently that I've clicked and felt a bit more uninhibited to just spread the message of what I want to build and the type of person that I want to support. And suddenly they're showing up. Funny that. It just makes me laugh. It's so fucking annoying. Be, do, have. It's got to start from the inside out. So, flip it on its head. Make sure you're building from the inside out. You got this. You can. And you can do it. You can do it. It might take time, but it's possible. You can change. No matter how far deep you think you are, no matter how far gone you think you are, no matter whatever. You can turn it around. And you can turn it around very quickly, especially if you've been building for a while and you know what you're doing, and you know that this is no longer where you want to be. Because once that decision is made, goddamn, watch out. The world just goes, vroom, we got your back. It's incredible. It really is. It really is. It'll throw in some it'll throw in some little hurdles and try and make you trip a couple times too, just to double check. Just double check that it is what you want. But it does. The universe, everybody, your Rolodex, people just, they feel it. They feel it. They're like, shit, she's ready. She's ready. I'm ready. Yes! Like, let's go. That's what I want. That's what I want all my clients to feel. That's what I want. That's what I want you to feel. So, follow this channel. Like, subscribe, ping, send me a message, let's talk. Tell me something in the comments that you're dealing with, or what's the biggest should that is clouding your business and your mind at the moment, and let's hire and slash those out of there. I'm going to finish my coffee now, it's cold. Bye.